Hey, everybody, and welcome in. It's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast. We're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside the life and times of our Dynasty League. I'm your host, Mike. With me, as always, is my good friend, Andrew. And this week, on this snowy, cold April 15th day, which is why I'm wearing my hood again, because it's freaking cold out. So silly. Anyways, we're going to be breaking down or doing a review of the NFC wide receiver situation. Now, if you didn't follow us on the last one, we saw some high-end top tier and then a massive drop-off of just garbage. And we know why, because the NFC houses a lot of really good talent at wide receiver. Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Ooh. I'm doing okay.
It's a long pause, man. You all right? You need a hug?
No, I need a buyer is what I need.
Oh, right. Selling the house. You need a buyer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody who wants to come move to cold Canada?
Anybody that knows anybody in Edmonton looking to buy a house, I have a wicked one for sale.
All right. No showings yet?
Nope.
Has it been a week, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 13 days.
13 days, yes.
15 days. April
15
1st.
days. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone thought it was a joke.
The market has bottomed out in Edmonton in the last 2 weeks.
It's spring. And the weather's not great. Like, I get it.
So, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll pick up. Turn around for you.
Yeah.
All right. It is 1 week away from the NFL draft. Boys and girls, we are going to get some clarity of what these teams are going to be doing come next week. It's exciting. I'm very, very much looking forward to the draft and having an idea. I've already built my draft board. I've already got some preliminary, like, I like this guy. I hope if he goes to a good team, maybe I'll be interested in him. What are your thoughts for next week? None?
If like you, it's going to depend on where guys go, on whether. I think this is probably the weakest draft for fantasy people. The weakest draft in probably 5 or 6 years. There's not even Mendoza is really exciting, right? Like, it's not like, oh my God, he's going to change the face of football. Yes, there's hype because he's the best player in the draft. But
at his position, I think there are defensive players that would.
Oh, no, don't. That's what I'm saying, fantasy wise, right? Yeah. Like, yes, he's the best quarterback, and you know what? We talked about the running back a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago. Is he a better fantasy pick than Mendoza? Yeah, probably. There's probably a couple wide receivers that are better picked than him, but outside of the top 3 picks, it's pretty much caca poo poo.
Yep.
And I'm seeing guys in chats, like, I'm willing to give up all of my picks this year for a 1 or a 2 next year. And that speaks volumes about how much nobody's for somebody that's in one of our leagues. I think I have 7 picks. It's disheartening, but I'm sure. I am sure.
Okay, you got to hear disheartening. I'm going to paint a picture for you now. In the L Empire League that Donnie runs, this is you have to win back to back. I have sold out the last couple of years with the intent of winning back to back. I'm last year's champion. I want to win it this year. Now, I was able to persuade a player saying, hey, man, you don't want your picks because he accumulated a bunch of picks for this year to go to waste. So you please trade me this. I forget which player I got from him, and I'll give you my picks next year, and you will be able to draft to your heart's content. Only to find out, like, this year is absolute garbage. Not garbage, but it's just not an exciting draft year. And bear with me, I'm just loading it up. He has, where is it? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in the first round. 1, 2, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. And he's got nothing left on his roster. Like, he's going to need these picks. It's just, I feel for you, buddy.
It was either last year or the year before. I think I had the one round I had 7 of the 10 picks.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that was the third round or something like that. But and I'm sure we're going to see. I mean, you almost have to. You're going to see
diamonds in the rough. Guys are going to rise up.
2 or
that we
3,
weren't expecting. Yeah,
2 or 3 guys that were picked in the 4th and 5th rounds of the draft come out and have a phenomenal rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they follow it up and have an outstanding career, who knows? But somebody will hit a team like maybe they hit Arizona and they gel with whatever quarterback shows up there and they go off all season long, or Tampa Bay or Minnesota or wherever, right? Like, heck, it could even be Philadelphia or Kansas City or even Buffalo goes and gets a wide receiver in the 7th round or the 6th round or whatever, and boom, that guy just goes bonkers and nobody expects. It's Puka Nacua. They pull a Puka Nacua. No one expected that, and
now he's just elite. Yeah.
Yes.
We can hope, right? That's what we can hope for.
And that's your gamble of still having picks in the 4th and 5th round in our league, right? So we'll see. And again, like I said, I think a lot of them are going to be team dependent. You know, you get the number 1 running back going to Philadelphia. He's probably not going to see the field because of Saquon Barkley. That's a waste of a position, in my opinion. And
because you're going to have to wait. He's not going to return value right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There are 2 things I want to talk about. The first one being the Packers trading wide receiver Dontavian Wicks to the Eagles for a 5th and 6th round pick. The Eagles have been actively adding wide receivers to their depth chart. There's lots of rumors swirling that A.J. Brown is going to be traded to the Patriots come June, or at least be traded in general. I'm leaning towards this all to be true, that A.J. Brown is not going to be here in Philadelphia come the beginning of the season. What are your thoughts?
I think maybe he starts the season there, and then Philadelphia kind of rides the wave, and it's a gamble. You ride the wave that he still produces what he's been doing. Yes, last year was a drop-off, but even if he does what he did last year, he still has value. And then come closer to the middle of the season or the trade deadline, you see them move him for pieces that they need to make a run at the playoffs. If they're missing a defensive lineman, maybe they trade him to the Raiders for Max Crosby. Or if they're missing an offensive lineman, go get the offside guy from Kansas City Chiefs who goes offside every third play. Although I think they traded him away in the offseason anyway, but it could be a situation like that where they fill in the gaps of what they need for that playoff push. Trading him away preseason, you're not going to necessarily know what your holes are, and then you go and you get either draft picks or you pick up another player, and it doesn't work, and then that's a busted trade for you.
Okay. So you think they hold to do a trade sometime during the season before the trade deadline?
And it also gives them the opportunity to, hey, we're beefing up the wide receiver room. Who is going to step up and take his position, if any of them, or do we have to ride him out for the rest of the year?
Interesting. Okay. As the A.J. Brown owner, I would like to see him either stay with the team all season and just kill it, or be traded before the season starts so he can get comfortable acclimating to a new system. Trading mid-season doesn't always, work out fantasy-wise.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I see that from you being the owner of the player, and then in your case, then you're hoping before any camps open, he gets traded so that he has as much time with the team to acclimate and build chemistry with the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's my hope. All right. Then the second thing I want to talk about is I have a conversation about Travis Hunter, the player, and the situation he finds himself in. And I want to paint a picture for you. Those that drafted Travis Hunter, he was drafted probably in the top 3 picks, I think. I don't think he made it to pick 4 in most cases, unless it was super flex. So he was drafted very early. Okay.
Yes.
He did essentially nothing his rookie year, was injured, and now we're being told that he's going to play primarily cornerback on a team that seems to be flush with wide receivers. So the fantasy value from people's perspective could be that it's diminished, right? Like it's low. It's not 0, but it's low. And some people might be willing to take a chance, reach out, and make a trade for Travis Hunter. The Travis Hunter owner is probably looking to sell. I own him in one league, and I would love to unload him for something. Now, what do you think fair market value is for a player? Now, before you answer, we could look at the online calculators to say, hey, based upon your format, this player should have X value, and you should be able to trade for this. These are the things you could get for it. Then that comes to the matter of public opinion, which is always subjective and based upon your perspective, looking at a situation. So where would you value Travis Hunter?
Right now, it is very, very difficult because you don't have. He really didn't play enough offense last year to build a case whether he's a superstar on offense or he's a bust on offense. He got hurt, partway through the season, and even to that point, even up to that point, he wasn't the top wide receiver on his team. For me, I would foresee him, if you're looking at just purely the fantasy football world, right now he's not. I think he's worth a 4th or a 5th round pick because I don't think he's never going to be a. I don't even think he's a flex 1, flex 2 guy. He's going to be a flex 3, if anything. And he's going to be the guy that comes in and plays 6 or 7 plays a game and does the trick plays. And some weeks it's going to pay off, and the guy might bust one for 60 yards and a touchdown. That gives you your 12 points for the week, and that's a great point value for your third spot flex player. Getting 12 points out of that guy is huge. But there's going to be other weeks where he's going to be on those trick plays and the other team shuts it down and he gets 5 yards and, 3 catches and 5 yards, and you get 2 points out of the guy.
If that
in our league, because we get half a point for a catch, so 3 catches and 5 yards, another half point. That's 2 points total for his week, and that's brutal for your flex 3 guy. You're probably losing your week because of it. So I don't think he holds enough value right now to say, oh, I want a 2nd or a 3rd round pick for him. I would struggle with, if I was somebody looking to maybe pick him up on the down low. I'll offer a 5th round this year and a 5th round next year, because we all know that your 5th rounders are dart throws. and see if somebody would take that two fifth
Okay.
rounds. Because I don't think the team is willing to take the chance to put him out there and have him get hurt again.
Yeah, I don't think he's a reliable starter. He'd have to prove it for an extended period, which is why it's a gamble. I think he falls into the category of being hey, if you think there's a chance here, maybe you buy him low, like you said. You give 2 5s, you give something up essentially for nothing. You acquire him, and then you're gonna have to hold him on your bench and see if he, like this year. Let's say this year's a write-off, but towards the end of the year, maybe he does something, and maybe in year 2 you have a shot, and then you kind of know that was your gamble, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're big. Go ahead.
If you're in a league that has special teams, maybe slap him in as your special team guy, because maybe they'll use him as a punt returner or a kickoff returner to get the offense a better starting point. Because if he can turn a 10-yard punt return into a 30 or 40-yard punt return, and depending on how that special teams points add up, there he may be valuable. But in none of the leagues that you and I are in together, we do special teams. So
actually, not true. No fun league.
But it's not a huge I wouldn't put him in my flex spot hoping he's going to get a 20-yard punt return.
No,
it's not worth the
Chimeri DK. What made him valuable in that league is the fact that he got kick return touchdowns.
Yes,
so he could have 100 yards in kick return. I think it warrants you 1.5 points. So it doesn't give you a lot, but if he scores a touchdown on it, it helps.
That gets you an extra 6 points. So you're right. And then there is always that chance that he does bust one for a touchdown. But I don't think there's not enough data yet on him to say they'll give him another year to recoup and recover and learn the NFL, and then he becomes a superstar. He's not a Deion Sanders. It's basically kind of what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, then I want to share a scenario with you. So Donnie has many leagues. One of them is called Fantasy Wars. And there's not a lot of nice people in this league. And we lost several of them. We lost several people in the off season, and Donnie's worked hard to fill the thing back up. And whenever you get new guys in, and I think the league added 2 new guys, maybe 3, it's Burns activity, right? Because guys they're taking over an orphan and they want to make some changes. Well, one of the guys happens to be the Travis Hunter owner, and he's wheeling and dealing, right? So he's talking to people, not exactly trying to sell Travis Hunter. He's just trying to make moves. So one of the players that has been in this league longer than I have, because I picked it up a year or 2 ago, an orphan, realized right away that this is not it's a toxic league. It's like, okay, this guy, he strikes a deal. I want to. This is what he gave, or this is what he got. He got Travis Hunter in the 103. Okay, Travis Hunter and the 103. What he gave up was the 110, the 202, and Juwan Johnson. Tight end Juwan Johnson. Now, hang on. Now, Travis Hunter essentially is a throw-in piece just to get rid of, right? Because you're valuing him at 2 5s.
Yeah.
Okay. So the argument that spawned after this is that the trade essentially was for the 103. Travis Hunter is negligible because the people that hated this trade said Travis Hunter is pointless. He's not involved in this conversation. He's just a throw-in piece. What you really did is you traded the 103 in a shallow draft class where the best players will be in the first 4 picks. And you gave up the 110, the 202, and tight end Juwan Johnson. And this league has a tight end premium. You get an extra point for receptions.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be vocal and jumping on the guys because you know me. But I I tend to agree with them that to get the 103,
Yeah. It's super flex.
it's super flex, but
that means the 103 is valuable. Like to me, like the 103 is valuable. The 110, but I didn't hate the trade. I was the first one who commented, and I said, "Hey, that's an all right trade. It's kind of balanced because you got the 103 and Travis Hunter, which is just going to be a roster clog, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably
and you
be
got
on the waiver wire before the end of the year.
Sure, very well could be. Juwan Johnson, I think, is an okay tight end, and then you got the 110 and the 202. So you've got almost like that turn.
Yes.
Right. You got your kind of
If it's a snake, draft,
you'll pick at the 110 and then you'll pick at the 202. Right. So you're gonna get that locking up that corner, that turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. I wasn't truly upset by it. Like it's like, okay. There are a couple guys in this league that lost their freaking noodle, and it got ugly because of this trade.
See, and that's where, and yourself and probably 8 of us in Poor Man were in a league that was just like that, and we ended up having to basically kick the commissioner out because 2 or 3 guys in that league were that toxic, and they were just jerks.
Bad, yeah.
And that takes away. Like, I almost dropped out of the whole fantasy football stuff altogether because of that league. Like, I just thought, you know what? And you're the one that brought me back in, because I used to do this fantasy football stuff a long time ago, and you're the one that brought me back into it. Every time I'm out, you bring me back in. I'm thinking like, oh my God, if that's what these leagues are going to be like I have zero interest in continuing. I mean, luckily enough, Donnie and Gabriel and Juan, like the guys that are in our league are great.
Yeah, we have a great league.
And they cross over into all 4 of our leagues that we're in, and the other leagues that we're in, the one-off guys seem pretty good too.
Yeah, I think Donnie's done a great job overall in amassing good leagues with good people. This league, however, I get it. You're trying to build it up, and it seems like some of these new guys might be cool dudes, but there's still some lagging, discontent individuals.
I could very well see you having such a strong opinion if this was a $10,000 buy-in league, and because that's big money on the line. But 10, 15, $20, come on, like that's just like, why are you're losing your mind?
It's a $10 league.
Yeah, you're losing your mind in a $10 league over something so stupid that at the end of the year, this trade isn't going to be the worst trade that happened.
Probably not.
And this trade isn't going to sway either one of those guys into winning the league.
Actually, the guys that are complaining are middle of the pack teams at best. They have not pushed for the championship. They have just middled, but they had very strong opinions that the 2 players involved, one of which has been a playoff team. What is that? No, it's my computer. That has been a playoff team. It's wild that these opinions are so strong. And
are they so pissed off because they offered something up for that 103 and got denied?
It doesn't sound like it. So they ripped into each other pretty good, and I spent a good chunk of my day just getting dings after dings after dings. I even had to send Donnie a message and say, "Hey, look, man, like I feel for you. You're trying to mitigate and manage the BS that's happening in it. Guys were crying foul, wanted the trade reversed, said it was collusion. It's like, well, it's a brand new dude. Like, these 2 dudes don't know each other." And then someone went online and started delving into this one guy's history across the internet, and it got ugly. And I'm thinking like, oh my goodness. And I'm sitting here having a conversation with one of the other new guys, saying, "Hey, man, like, yeah, it's a new league. We're like, it's not a new league. It's just kind of giving some history. And it's like that. There was some like toxicity. Like some of those guys are gone now. Things are better." And then this crap happens. It makes me look like an absolute a-hole. And he's like, I I didn't think it was this bad. I'm like, it was never this bad, but obviously things are still sour. I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry that you jumped into this. It's not as bad. Donnie's a good commissioner, and we just have some bad apples. We'll beat themselves out.
If I was Donnie, I would have almost said, guys, stop, or you will be removed from the league.
It's almost getting to that point. They won't leave though. That's the thing.
No, but as a commissioner, he can kick them out.
He can kick them, and that's like he hasn't got that far. I was at the point where, it's like, guys, if you don't like what's happening here, if you don't like Donnie and how he's running the league, and you don't like this player for the types of trades that he's able to make without you, go. There's the door. You can find another league. I didn't have to, however, because another gentleman, it's Peeps, is in this league because he's in like 10,000 leagues. Yeah. He chimes in, and he's not nice. He stirs the pot a bit first, riles them up, and then starts like skeet shooting them out of the sky with like receipts and stuff. And it's like, holy crap, man, like, good on you for doing that, but that is very confrontational. You're just going out there and just stirring the pot just to put people down. And he was not kind about it, so good for him for doing it. But yeah, those guys are still sticking around. They're just like, oh, I'll see you in the playoffs, or like, when my team wins a championship and your team's like picking first next year. I'm not sure if
we're in the playoffs, I'm not picking first.
No. So, I'll be in the playoffs, and you won't be. You'll be picking first, right? Because my team's so awesome. You made bad trades, so your team sucks.
Yeah. What are you gonna come to my house and kick me in the shins?
It almost felt like these guys were like doing some deep dive internet searching to eventually dox each other. It was just all over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, come on, just.
I would have almost even said, you know what? If you're gonna be such a crybaby, I'll pay your fucking $10 next year for you, because you are a crybaby pussy that doesn't deserve to be in this league.
Oh, anyways, that's partly why I wanted to talk, because I think we're all in agreement. One moral of that story is that Travis Hunter essentially has little to no value and is a buy low candidate if you want to hold him on your roster. But boy, he is polarizing.
But and that's and I get, like, there are some people, when it comes to sports, are so passionate about something or somebody that they lose their minds over something that goes sideways. And who knows? Like, heck, this guy could have the steal of the century if Travis Hunter does go off.
Makes a comeback at some point in the season, right?
But it does not seem to be probable. And so whatever. You could give Puka Nacua for Andy Dalton, for Christ's sakes. What is it to everybody else in the league? If that's the decision you make to make that trade, for whatever reason, if I trade you Andy Dalton and you give me Puka Nacua, you've lost that trade, obviously. Yeah. But you went in and you made that trade, or accepted the trade that I offered to you, for whatever reason you thought, hey, I got a chance at winning this trade. Maybe Andy Dalton will play every game and he'll be the Super Bowl MVP, and it's a career resurgence. Yeah, and he's going off for the next 5 years.
And he helped me win a championship. That's
like, you're making the trade thinking you're bettering your team. Whether it works or it doesn't, who knows? Nobody has a crystal ball. So for others to criticize somebody's trade, come on, get your rear end out of your head. And shut up about it. You're bitter because somebody didn't give you that opportunity.
That was the tone that I got, is that you were upset that you didn't get the deal. Yeah. And I doubt that you were trying for that deal, but you're just upset. And
I don't think they were trying for the Travis Hunter. I think they were pissed off about the third guy.
The 103.
The
Yeah, it was the
103.
103. Yeah, that's what they were really upset about.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care. It's not a big deal. It's not my team. And the people that made the trade, they will figure it out. Your 103 isn't always going to hit the selections you make. The 110 isn't always going to hit, but you never know. You take your shots. You live with the regrets. The argument that they were trying to make was
one player at the 103 is not winning you a championship, period. The one guy that's at the 110 is not winning you that championship. It's the rest of the team you're building that is going to win you the championship, because nobody wins a championship with one guy. Plain and simple.
Unless it's like Christian McCaffrey in one of his epic years.
Even him, though, if you had trash at every other position, you're not winning it.
True.
Sure, McCaffrey's going to get you 30 points a week. But if the rest of your team only gets you 45 points and you're sitting at 80, you're losing.
Yeah, you need over 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so last comment I want to make is that the counter argument that they made was we don't need to mind our own business. We want to protect the league. And when bad trades like this happen, it devalues the league, because if you make this trade and then bounce, you are leaving us with a crappy team that we then have to give to somebody to take over. And this league does have a high turnover. So that was the counter argument, which I get, I don't support, but I get.
Sure, but you can voice the opinion, but not be a jerk about it. I wanted to use more profanity there, but you don't need to be ignorant in your comments. You could say, I call foul on this because I don't think it's a fair trade, and these are the reasons why. But to personally attack somebody, or like you said, go internet trolling somebody to see who they are and where they live and what kind of crap they do for a living and blah 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 blah. What's your porn search? And documenting that on the team chat or whatever.
It didn't go there, but like it could have.
But that's the part that, like, you and I have seen trades that are not. One of our year-end spoof awards is stupidest trade, because and we make fun of it.
That's because we have the luxury of hindsight, because we take the time to go back and have a look and say this trade did not age well. In the moment, it might have felt okay, but
even in the comedic fun that we're trying to have with it, we are not mean and malicious to say, Mike, you traded Puka Nacua for Andy Dalton. Are you a bleeping idiot?
I needed a starting quarterback. Puka Nacua had a broken ankle. He's out for the year. Like there's situations where you could paint a picture where like that happens, but I get it. It's wild.
But we're not tearing the person down at a personal level.
We're mocking the scenario, not the person.
But even at the time of the draft, at the time of the pick, you can voice your opinion to say, I don't think that's a fair trade or an equal trade or what have you. From my perspective, I'm not saying the commissioner needs to step in and reverse it and do this and do that and fine the person and blah 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 blah. Again, it's a $10 league. Everybody's here to have some fun and enjoy football. Life's not coming to an end because of this. So stop it. You're just a mean person in general. You're probably a bully in real life as well.
Probably. They probably were or are. Yeah. Wow. I just wanted to share that story.
Sorry that I went off so bad.
We chewed up some time, so we're going to blow through this next part, which is actually talking about the wide receivers in the NFC. So that's your NFC East. Has got your Cowboys, your Giants, your Eagles, your Commanders. The North, the Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. The South, the Falcons, the Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers. And the West being the Cardinals, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, when I mentioned those names, players came to your mind, and all 16 teams have a true wide receiver one. All of them. And we're going to try and rank those wide receivers. Some teams have more than one wide receiver that you can trust. I would not be upset if I had any two of these guys as my wide receiver one and wide receiver two.
For sure. I think the gap, like you said when we first started the show, the other conference, there's a big gap in
from the elite top to the bottom.
Yes.
And these ones are much closer.
It's a closer gap, but I think there's some guys that are a one and done year. I don't necessarily. I think there's some hype around them that they're not as great as they can, as people appear to think.
Okay.
And we'll get into them as we get going.
All right. Let's start with the NFC East. Dallas Cowboys. They've got two wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. George Pickens had a great year last year, earned himself the franchise tag. CeeDee Lamb was injured and did not have the season that he normally would, but two really good wide receivers. And I think that team is going to be okay this year.
Yes.
New York Giants, Malik Neighbors. I think he's an elite wide receiver, but he did have a devastating knee injury. All kinds of things went wrong. I'm not expecting him back till halfway through this year. And they don't really have much else in the way of wide receivers because Wendell Robinson's gone. And they have a new head coach. So I don't really know what that dynamic is going to look like. Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown. We talked about him earlier. I do expect him to be gone before the season starts, which leaves Devontae Smith and everybody else. I'd be happy with Devonta Smith without A.J. Brown because whenever A.J. Brown is not there and Devonta Smith is a target, that guy performs.
And this could even be the year that Devonta Smith leapfrogs A.J. Brown as that team's number one.
Could be. They could deliberately push that narrative and just, yeah. Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin, still the dude. Had a good year 2 years ago and is okay. This is probably one of the few guys that I wouldn't like. I'd be okay with my wide receiver 2. I would not want him as my 1, as my staple, but he's still a good wide receiver.
I think in his case, it comes down to, is the quarterback staying healthy, or is that elbow that looked like a football really messed up?
Okay. Well, we will find out. That is a concern, and you have to weigh that in when you're making decisions. That is a factor. All right, let's move to the NFC North. Chicago Bears. This is a team that moved the ball really well at a variety of positions, and Luther Burden rose to the top and is currently listed as the number 1 wide receiver on the depth chart. Rome Odunze is the 2. Colston Loveland also had an amazing second half to the season last year. I'm leaning Luther Burden as the 1 for this team. I'll agree that he's the dude, and Rome Odunze will take that. He'll have 70 receptions, but 1,000 yards because he'll be like the big, long, deep guy. But the possession wide receiver will be Luther Burden. And if that's the case, great. But I have him lower on my list just because of the fact that I think there'll be a spread offense and they won't hyper target him. That they'll have too many mouths to feed.
You're not leaning toward Wiz Khalifa Raymond to be your number 1 guy there?
No, he's a kick returner. He's just a kick returner.
I had him in so many leagues, and every time I put him in, he did nothing. And when I took him off, he went off.
Yeah,
stupid guy.
That's how it goes, man. All right, then we go to the Lions. To me, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's the number 1 dude. Jameson Williams is like your Rome Odunze. He's going to get some stuff, but he's not going to be the dude. And then the Packers. Christian Watson is the dude that's number 1 on the list, ahead of Jaden Reed, ahead of Matthew Golden.
Sure, because he's probably the veteran on the team now.
Yep.
I see I honestly, I think that team is, if they go off this year and they make a run, I think it's going to be because Golden takes the spot from the other two,
Okay.
or Reed takes the spot from the other two. It's not going to be on Christian Watson. He's too injury
Fragile.
prone. And with Green Bay, it's a spread it out to everybody. Even throw up to the coach if you have to, and see if he can run down the sideline with it. They do so much by committee. Uh, I almost would say stay away from the Packers wide receivers altogether, because week in, week out, you don't know which one's going to be the number one guy.
That is true. That is true. It makes it difficult. But they did get rid of Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks, right? So they've thinned it out a little bit, and hopefully we get some clarity.
Until they draft 3 more of them this year.
Oh my goodness, that would be. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. All right, last Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson with Kyler Murray in the house. I think he's up for a rebound season. I don't know if he climbs back up into like the elite category. He has the potential, but Kyler Murray has to carry that load too.
Yeah, the jury's out on the Vikings altogether. Like with Kyler Murray, could they bounce back to the team that takes the division and goes far in the playoffs? Or with Kyler Murray, are they dead last in the division?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, moving to the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons have Drake London, clear number 1 on that team. I like it. The Carolina Panthers have second-year Teteroa McMillan. Kid did pretty good for his rookie year. But it is a team that did okay last year, and we need Bryce Young to be really consistent for Teteroa McMillan to be awesome. Move to the Saints. Chris Olave. Chris Olave had a great year with Tyler Shuck. Let's hope that repeats and it doesn't just implode on itself. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers currently show Emeka Ibuka as their number 1 over. Yeah, I can't even think. Chris Godwin.
Yeah. That's Olave and Ibuka are the 2 guys that scare me the most out of all 16 teams.
Really?
Yeah, because Olave, does he continue to ride that high, or does he drop off? Ibuka,
we saw him drop off. He had 6 weeks of amazing, and then the rest of the season was bunk.
And that's just it, right? Right? Like, again, that I think Tampa Bay is a team on the decline, and they may have to rely on their running game more than their throwing game this year. And that's going to hurt the wide receiver room there.
Okay. All right, last division, the NFC West. So Arizona Cardinals, they show Marvin Harrison number 1. I don't know if it is that way. I'd rather have Michael Wilson. I trusted Michael Wilson with Jacoby Brissett. I'd pick Michael Wilson right now over Marvin Harrison. Then we got the Rams, Puka Nacua. No problems there. He's number 1. Devontae Adams was great for touchdowns, but Puka's still number 1. The 49ers, Mike Evans is the number 1. It's not the other kid, the kid that got shot. I don't remember his name now. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, Mike Evans is number 1 dude, which is great, but he's new to the team. He's going to have to be hyper targeted.
Ricky Pearsall, is that who you're
Ricky
thinking?
Pearsall, yeah. So Ricky Pearsall would be the 2. Juwan Jennings might come back on a plea deal. And I say plea deal because he didn't sign in the offseason with anybody because no one's willing to spend the kind of money that Juwan Jennings is asking for. So he's going to have to swallow his pride and take the deal he can get. If he wants a good situation, he should go back to the 49ers. And then last but not least is Jackson Smith-Njigba, a.k.a. JSN. Stellar season. Absolutely amazing. Puts him in. I put him up at the top. Not number 1, but he's up there. So these all of these dudes, all 16, are relatively respectable wide receivers. So some combination of these on your roster got to feel pretty good. Now we're going to rank them. So wide receiver 1, I got as Puka Nacua. Is there a debate?
No, that's
okay.
Yeah.
I think we might differ going forward. My number 2 I have is CeeDee Lamb. I could see JSN falling into this category as the new hotness, but I still believe CeeDee Lamb is elite. And now there's got George Pickens on the other side. Dak Prescott is still a solid quarterback. I think CeeDee is still good at number 2.
I think just because of the team they had last year, JSN would be my number 2.
Okay. JSN's my number 3. I realize they can't do what they did last year. He was hyper targeted and was just amazing with it. I don't know if they can keep doing that. Who do you have as your 3? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. My number 3 going out. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and just because it's an unknown situation that I think could be very, very, his ceiling could be very, very high. Justin Jefferson.
Okay. So you think he returns to form this year?
I think so. I think it's going to be a situation whereby, with Kyler Murray coming in, he's going to target who he thinks is the elite guy on the team. And unless he really disappoints early on, he'll keep going back to that well. Kind of like what he did with what's his face, Harrison, in Harrison's rookie year.
And then
they just kept going back to the well, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. But I think Jefferson is a far more superior wide receiver. He may have a bad game or two, but he is good enough and consistent enough that he'll have more better games than he will bad games.
I'm going to have to do some research here, because if Kyler Murray is the type of quarterback to hyper target his go-to guy, Justin Jefferson could be a monster this year.
Could have 120 catches, 1,500 yards. Yeah. Maybe the touchdowns aren't there, but everything else is, right?
Cool. All right. Number 4, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Perennial top 5, not number 1, but always getting receptions, getting yards, just getting the work done. Who do you have at number 4?
This is where I'm going to go Lamb.
Okay, you put CeeDee Lamb at 4. All right.
Yeah. And then my number 6 is and my number 5, sorry, is St. Brown. And those guys could swap them.
Yeah.
But the reason I put St. Brown down 1 is I worry about Detroit. They're starting to age out.
Mm-hmm.
Their quarterback, their offensive line. Yes, they still got a young tight end. They still got a young running back, but some of the other players are starting to age out, and it worries me that it's going to cost him not the year. He's not 5th isn't a crappy spot. It's a decent spot, but still, I think it might not be as productive of a year.
Okay. We did pick the same 5 players, just in different orders as our top 5. So my number 6 is Drake London. Who do you have? You're muted again.
I know. I'm just worried about my dog going nuts because there's people outside the house. I so bad want to go Malik Neighbors, but you almost talked me out of it, saying I don't expect him to be there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I don't.
And I think that's going to hurt him.
That's why I've got him down where I do, is because I think he's going to have a good year when he's there. He's just not going to be there for a lot of the year.
Yeah. Now, if I could pick 2 guys from the same team,
George Pickens?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
okay.
going to be London.
All right. So Drake London, number 6. That's what I got. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Okay, oops, I missed that letter. Drake London, number 7. This is where I put Chris Olave. Now, you said you were nervous about Chris Olave.
I am.
So let's just find out, I got Chris Olave at 7. You have Chris Olave where?
I still have to see where I'm going to slot him in because
Okay.
I haven't written these down.
All right, you're kind of
This is the
feeling it
first.
as we
This
go.
is the first one of these groupings that we've done that I haven't written it down.
Okay.
I'm going to put AJ Brown here.
Okay.
And I think because if he gets hot in Philadelphia and they keep him, he deserves to be here. And again, he could get mediocre, but they still trade him away because they want to get a younger wide receiver room.
Right. They want to move on
But
from that drama.
he still balls out at the team he goes to. Like
Sure.
If he ends up in Kansas City or like you said, New England, or Cincinnati wouldn't be a good place for him to go. But
No.
if a throwing team, a throwing team, even Pittsburgh,
he goes back to Tennessee.
Could.
Yeah.
But I think he could have a phenomenal year, like a last hurrah at the end of his career. He is getting older, right? Like
he's still a really good receiver.
He is, but I don't think he is 5 years from now. He's not playing still.
No, that's long. That's like
that would put him probably 35, 36 years old. So
33.
He's 20. You're saying he's 28?
Yeah.
Oh, he is 28. Wow. Okay.
So that he will be playing for the next 5 years. He just won't have the level of production that he had from his earlier years. All right, number 8. I've got Mike Evans right here. I love the landing spot for Mike Evans going to San Fran. They are a pass-heavy team. This is a guy who's great at catching the ball when he's healthy. He's going to get another 1,000-yard season, right? He missed 1 year last year because of injury. He didn't get there. He's going to demand the targets just to get that 1,000-yard season, which is going to garner him some touchdowns. It's going to be fantastic. I think Mike Evans this year is going to have a great year and then poof, be gone.
Okay.
So that's my Mike Evans, number 8.
This is where I got McMillan.
You got Teteroa McMillan all the way up here. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a believer.
Pardon me, and I think it's because I actually have him in this league. I have him in one of my 4.
Yeah, I know you drafted him somewhere. Okay, well, making a pivot on the fly. All right, so you got Teteroa McMillan at 8. I had Mike Evans. Okay, my number 9, this is where I put A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown's still a top 10 wide receiver. This is where I got him.
Okay. This is where I'll throw Burden.
Luther Burden. Okay, so Luther Burden makes the top 10 for you here at 9. Let's move to 10. This is where I've got Emeka Egbuka. I think whatever last year was, the first half is not indicative of the season, and the last half is not indicative of the season. With Mike Evans now gone, and I think a complete off-season and camp to work on what their plan is, I think he's going to be the average of last year. And if I can average out the first half of his season with the back half, I'll be happy with Emeka Egbuka throughout the entire year.
Okay. This is where I'll throw Terry and McLaurin in.
Scary Terry up here at 10. I'm not as confident with Terry McLaurin because he is aging. He is a product of a system, not an elite wide receiver talent on his own right. And Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback coming off an elbow injury. I don't know. Like that's high praise.
It's a risk, and this is where again I think he has a higher ceiling.
Okay, so you're putting him at the ceiling.
I think he's got a higher ceiling than like a Mike Evans, in my opinion.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you've got 2 good quarterbacks throwing the ball. They're both throwing teams.
Yeah.
If Washington's if Jaden Daniels does have a bounce back year from injury, McLaurin's going to benefit from it. Right? So.
All right, let's move on to 11. This is where I've got Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to copy and paste that there. Malik Neighbors, 11.
Yeah, it's hard to. I'm going to slide in Ibuka here.
This is where you're going to put him at Ibuka? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to 12. My 12 is Luther Burden. This is where I think he fits in. And the reason why I have him down this far is mainly because he could be good enough to be top 10. But because Colston Loveland's there, Roma Dunze, and the offense I think is going to spread the ball in a multifaceted attack, he's just not going to get the volume required to be in that category.
Sure. No, and that's fair enough. I just, the reason I had another one of the reasons I had him a little bit higher was that offense is now starting to come together, and I think everybody is going to benefit from it. Yep. Having that Detroit coach
Ben Johnson
in play there, I think that's the confidence and the swagger the team is going to that's going to give them the winning touch, and I think everybody will just benefit from their all of their games will step up a notch. So. My number 12, I'm going to go. This is where I might throw Mike Evans in. I mean, Mike Evans is still. I worry about the injuries and the age. But
sure, yeah, that is a legit concern. But, especially going to San Francisco, which is the place of injury.
Yes. But I think of the wide receiver room there, and you touched on it a little bit, that really, does he have a lot of competition for that number one spot? You know, if McCaffrey is healthy and
he's number one,
and the tight end Kittle,
but he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, but if those two do come back and they do play, they will be the number 1 and 2 targets.
Yeah,
and then Mike Evans will be the third. And so does he do what he did in Tampa Bay when he was fully healthy, the number 1 wide receiver in Tampa Bay with no doubt in anybody's mind? I don't think he's there anymore. The age and the injuries, so just his game has dropped off, but he is the best of what
is there,
what San Francisco has right now. So he
right.
could have a decent spot where, because you got your two divisions, I'm kind of putting him around the 22 to 24 mark in the league.
Okay. All right, wide receiver 13. This is where I slotted in Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson had a great second half of the year with Jacoby Brissett. Once they established him as a reliable wide receiver, he was reliable week in and week out for fantasy. If that stays true, then I think that's going to be pretty consistently. It's going to be consistent enough for me that I'm going to want to start him. If it doesn't pan out because they do switch back to trying to make Marvin Harrison a thing, then unfortunately I'm baking in the risk level here at 13 for Michael Wilson. Otherwise, if Michael Wilson is a known commodity, he'd be higher on this list for me than 13.
Sure. For me, what teams do I have left? I've got the Falcons, the Saints, the Cardinals,
Packers.
This is where I will slot in. Oh,
You got the Giants still. You don't have Malik Neighbors on your board yet.
yeah. I just think if he misses too much of the season,
Yeah,
he won't be there.
That's the risk.
This is where I'm going to slot in Drake London.
You already have Drake London. You have Drake London at 6. Yeah. Now I really know how you feel about Drake London.
This is where I'll slot in Olave.
Wow. Olave down here at 13. Okay.
Again, I worry about the Saints' young quarterback.
Do you have Chris Olave anywhere? I don't think you do.
I don't think I do. I've tried to get him, I think. But I worry about the quarterback having a sophomore slump. And just that offense is just, it's got too many question marks as to their identity.
I think it's clear.
They're a running team or a passing team?
They're going to be a combination of both. With last year's, they had to pass the ball because they didn't have a running game. Now that they have Travis Etienne, I think they can establish a run. If they can establish the run, then it opens up the passing lanes. Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, they really need a second pass, like another real passing target. I don't think Juwan Johnson's the guy for the second passing target, and they traded away Rashid Shaheed.
I still worry about it. Like I don't know about their
okay.
That whole I worry about that whole team period. But
all right. 14. This is where I've got Terry McLaurin. I got him down here at 14. You had Terry McLaurin at 10.
Yeah. So I've got, who am I missing?
You're missing the Packers wide receiver. You're missing the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver.
Packers, Cardinals, and Giants.
Packers, Cardinals, and Giants.
This is where I will throw in the Packers, but I'm not going with Watson.
Ooh, pivoting. What do you get? Jaden Reed?
No, the third.
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. I think at the end of the year, Matthew Golden will be higher than the other two.
Okay. I'd like to hear that. As the Matthew Golden owner in a few places, I would, yay, take that.
Especially like if Watson goes down game one with another devastating knee injury, hamstring, knee injury, whatever, and misses 3/4 of the season.
What good?
I mean, you've got a decent quarterback in Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. So I just
okay. Now you've got Malik Neighbors and an Arizona wide receiver.
I got to go Wilson here. And just because I am so far gone off of Marvin Harrison. And then Malik Neighbors. I would have Malik Neighbors ranked in the top 5 if he was healthy today.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
A good young offense, up and coming offense, but him missing half the season is just going to push him down on the list. And then you have Tetro McMillan. And
I do have Tetro McMillan at 15. It's not really a slight against McMillan, more the situation that he's in with Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, which won some games and lost some games. To me, it wasn't very clear. I don't have the high level of confidence. I think he could probably take a really good leap this year. That'd be great. I'm not comfortable investing in him. And I have Christian Watson as my last pick because I'm not trusting any Packers wide receiver. Not one.
If I could have picked another team instead of the Packers, and we've talked about this, like where we saw other guys ranking. Like you look at Luther Burden. No, not Luther Burden. Who was it? Where's the other Chicago guy here? Roma Dunze. I'd rather have a Dunze over Watson, even though Burden's probably going to be the top guy. What was the other team there that I saw? Devonta Smith. I'd rather have him than Watson. Right? There's a few number 2s that I'd rather have over over even Michael Wilson. Like both those teams, I don't think their players are not true number ones.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with that opinion. But pretty solid. NFC overall, pretty solid at the wide receiver position. Next week, just before the draft, we're going to do the AFC running back review. The draft's going to happen.
Unfortunately, you might be by yourself.
Oh no! Where are you going to be, buddy?
I've got to do the dance competition.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
This is the last chance I get to see her solo.
I get it. I'll be there Friday morning to see my daughter solo. Took the morning off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a good trek out to Fort Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll probably I think she dances at 6:30, so we won't get out of the.
Yeah, you'll be late night at best.
Yeah,
for
we
you to
won't
get
get
back
home till 9:00 at night, probably. So
okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be flying solo unless I can pull any last minute co-host. Let's see what I could do. Until then, I'm really looking forward to the draft next week. We'll talk running backs next week and the week after. We'll also after that we'll talk about the draft and start planting seeds on who we don't want to select in the draft, right? Just to throw people off the scent. It's a good time. Lots of fun. We're going to have some more football news here real quick, and then we'll go back into a lull, and we'll fill that void for you. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Come in next week from one poor man to another. Remember, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.